Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward.
Chapter 1 Land of Fire, Konoha Ninja Village. Sunset. The afterglow of the setting sun shines into the village, as if it has covered the village with a golden coat. The buildings in the village are arranged in an orderly manner, and the streets are bustling with people. Sometimes you can hear the street vendors shouting, enthusiastically selling to the villagers and foreign tourists. Especially outside the Konoha specialty 3-color dumpling shop, there is a long queue early. Ring. A pleasant bell suddenly rang. Following the bell, you can see a boy and a girl with a little childish face, rushing out with joy. That is the school bell of Konoha Ninja School. There are crowds of people outside the school gate, and countless parents have been waiting outside for a long time. Among the crowd rushing out of the school, a yellow-haired boy is lowering his head and walking silently to the outside of the school. Unlike the classmates who walked together, talked and laughed, the yellow-haired boy seemed so lonely. It seemed that he was ostracized by everyone. Look! Isn't he the last one in our class? It was because of his poor performance that the whole class was detained. How could such a person enter the ninja school? He doesn't have the talent to be a ninja. Why is he here to join in the fun? Soon, several students around found the yellow-haired boy who followed him out. The words of several people were full of disgust and ridicule towards him. The yellow-haired boy naturally heard this almost face-to-face mocking voice. However, he seemed to have been accustomed to it. He silently clenched his fists and quickened his pace to walk out of the school. There was no way. It was indeed that his talent was too poor, and even the most basic transformation technique was a mess. That's why the classmates in the same class were detained together. He could only choose to ignore the verbal stimulation of his classmates. He just wanted to leave this place as soon as possible. Unfortunately, things often don't go as he wishes. When he passed by the school gate, the faces of the parents who had just picked up their children changed slightly. The parents pulled their children and subconsciously moved away from the yellow-haired boy. Some whispers came. It's this kid again. The school is really... Why would they allow such a monster to enter the ninja school? SHH. Say less. Yes. If this monster goes berserk, it will be bad. The parents looked at the yellow-haired boy with disgust and hatred in their eyes. Even some children who didn't know why picked up small stones on the ground and kept throwing them at the yellow-haired boy. While smashing, he cursed. Monster! Get out! Don't come to school again. We don't welcome you. Pa! Although the yellow-haired boy walked very fast, there were still small stones hitting his body and head. As a last resort, the yellow-haired boy could only stop. Holding his head with both hands, he endured all this with great grievance in his heart. Why? I am also from Konoha, why do you say I am a monster? Why do everyone have parents to protect me, but I don't? The yellow-haired boy gritted his teeth, his eyes full of unwillingness. He didn't understand why the whole village said he was a monster. Even those children of the same age would only unite to bully him. He just wanted to be like an ordinary child, to make many friends and get the love of his parents. Just want to be recognized by everyone. At the same time, in the mental space of the yellow-haired boy, this is a slightly dim and humid environment. As far as the eye can see, there are dark yellow towering walls on all sides. It seems like a large cage. On the ground, the turbid water is enough to cover a person's ankles. The whole space gives people an extremely depressing feeling. Buzz! It was at this time that the space suddenly twisted. A figure appeared in this space out of thin air. The figure was emitting a faint light, and it was hazy and unclear. Only a few outlines of the facial features were visible. Where is this? The figure was surprised and observed the unfamiliar environment around him in confusion. Lin Kong clearly remembered that he was rewatching the Naruto anime at home. He had just finished complaining that Naruto in the early stage was too pitiful. If he had such a dark in childhood, you will definitely not become a saint like in the later period. After all, you are the child of the fourth Hokage, the descendant of the hero of Konoha. Why should you be bullied like this? You were treated so coldly when you were a child, and you have to save Konoha when you grow up. This is ridiculous. If you want to say who should be blackened the most in Naruto, Naruto is definitely in the top 3. No. Now is not the time to think about this. Why am I here? And what's the situation with my body? Lin Kong looked down, and then he saw his current neither human nor ghost appearance through the reflection of the water under his feet. Ding! Detecting that the host has regained consciousness, the system is being integrated and activated. In Lin Kong's mind, a mechanical sound suddenly sounded. Gold Finger System. Am I traveling? Lin Kong was shocked and realized that he had traveled through time. Having read countless animations and novels about time travel, he quickly calmed down. As long as there is a golden finger system that is essential for time travelers, time travel will not be so scary. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully activating the system and obtaining the template, Cursed King. Ryaman Sukuna. Beep. The next moment, the system's voice sounded again. A large amount of information about the Golden Finger system and templates poured into Lin Kong's mind. His body also lit up with a brighter light at the same time. The originally white light instantly turned into a blood red. The accumulated water under his feet also spread at an astonishing speed and turned into a pool of scarlet blood. The surrounding ground was filled with terrifying white bones. A small hill made of countless human and animal bones rose from the ground. His body sat very naturally on the top of this mountain of bones and corpses. Like a king from purgatory, sitting on the throne of bones. Even the originally hazy face gradually became clear. The reflection of the blood water below reflects his current appearance. His face is slightly childish, with yellow hair. His blue eyes seem to be emitting light all the time. He is wearing a white kimono, showing his laziness. There are complex curse marks on both cheeks and body. It's actually the template of Ryaman Sukuna. Chapter 2. Ryaman Sukuna. I turned into Ryaman Sukuna. After Lin Kong received the information from the system, he was immediately surprised. As an avid fan of anime in his previous life, he naturally watched the anime of Jujutsu. The Curse King Ryaman Sukuna can be said to be the most powerful villain in the Jujutsu world. He remembered that in the later period of the original work, even Gojo Satoru, who was known as the strongest, died at the hands of Sukuna. If it weren't for Yuji Itadori's protagonist Halo, Sukuna would definitely be the ceiling of the Jujutsu world. Invincible existence. He didn't expect that after crossing over, he actually got the template of Ryaman Sukuna. So, is this crossing over to the Jujutsu world? Wait. He suddenly discovered something, and looked at his reflection in the blood below with some surprise. This look. Why do I seem to have seen it somewhere? Just when Lin Kong was puzzled, a simple system panel appeared in front of him. Host, Lin Kong. Current world, Naruto world. Template, Curse King, Ryaman Sukuna. Template fusion degree, 10%. Field, none. Ability, release, 8. Receiving body, Uzumaki Naruto. Lin Kong. Lin Kong looked at the system panel that appeared and was stunned. He was surprised that he did not travel to the world of curses, but to the world of Naruto. And the receiving body was actually Uzumaki Naruto. The so-called receiving body can be understood as the concept of reviving the spirit body. A human or object that has been subjected to a spell and is endowed with the corresponding spell and ability is called a receiving body. In simple terms, it can also be understood as the reincarnation of the corpse and Jinchuriki of Orochimaru in the Naruto world. My gold finger template is Ryaman Sukuna, and my receiver is Uzumaki Naruto. So I am Ryaman Sukuna now. Uzumaki Sukuna. Sukuna Jinchuriki. Lin Kong was a little confused. But soon, he also realized the key point of the problem. System. Since Uzumaki Naruto is my receiver, does that mean? Can I completely plunder Uzumaki Naruto's body? This question is too important. After all, according to the system prompt, he is only temporarily staying in Uzumaki Naruto's body. Since he has traveled through time, he definitely doesn't want to stay in Naruto's spiritual world forever. He remembered that in the original work of the curse, Ryaman Sukuna can completely control the receiver's body. Ding! As the template fusion degree increases, the host can unlock all the abilities of Ryaman Sukuna. The higher the fusion degree, the higher the control over the receiver's body. When the fusion degree reaches 100%, the recipient's physical body can be completely controlled and occupied. The system's prompt sounded. I see. Lin Kong nodded suddenly. In other words, if you want to get out of the spiritual world, you must first improve the fusion degree and improve your strength. With the improvement of the fusion degree, all of Sukuna's abilities can also be unlocked. Just like now, the field in that column of the system panel is still not available. Only when the fusion degree is improved to a certain degree can Sukuna's field be unlocked. That is one of Sukuna's most powerful trump cards. Then how to improve the fusion degree? Lin Kong then asked the system. Ding! The fusion degree can be improved by the host's role-playing degree. The more similar the role-playing is, the higher the fusion degree will be. In addition, collecting various negative energies can also improve the fusion degree. Lin Kong nodded again suddenly. The role-playing degree, as the name suggests, requires him to play the image of the two-faced Sukuna more closely. This is not difficult. Having read the original novel, he also knows how to act like Sukuna. As for negative energy can also be seen as negative emotions. Anger, sadness, hatred, etc. These strong emotions can be transformed into negative energy. Of course, this is also the source of cursed power. The question is, where to collect these negative energies? Hwalala! Just when Lin Kong was thinking about how to start collecting negative energy to improve the degree of integration, there was a sudden change in the huge spiritual world. On the ground, the originally calm blood began to ripple violently. In the rippling blood, wisps of black and red energy immediately rose. Before Lin Kong could react, the wisps of black and red energy gathered towards him. The next moment, it quickly merged into his body. And as the wisps of black and red energy merged, Lin Kong felt very clearly. The power of his body seemed to be improved. Is this negative energy? What's going on? Lin Kong was stunned. After confirming again and again, these black and red energies are indeed the negative energy he needs. He hasn't even started the operation yet. How come the negative energy is delivered to his door? Ding! The host absorbs negative energy, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. After a while, the system prompt sounded. In this moment, the template fusion degree has increased by 1% as it absorbs those negative energies. Lin Kong looked confused. This rhythm, is it an upgrade while lying down? But soon, he understood what was going on. Buzz! He only felt a trance in his mind, and the experience of the physical whirlpool Naruto just now flashed in his mind like a slideshow. Those negative energies that suddenly emerged were generated by Naruto himself. Resentful, sad, unwilling. Being treated so coldly by the adults and children in the village, Naruto naturally had a lot of negative emotions in his heart, which turned into negative energy. Yes. In the early days, Naruto was simply a walking negative energy generator. Why do I need to collect it deliberately? My body is full of negative energy. Lin Kong was full of joy. He knew very well what Naruto had experienced when he was a child. Both his parents died and he didn't get the care of his relatives. Because of the nine-tailed demon fox, he was regarded as a monster by everyone in the village. The adults treated him coldly, and the children always bullied him. These are all sources of negative energy. If we talk about who in Konoha can generate the most negative energy, except for the exterminated second pillar, it must be Naruto at this time. Just right. I don't plan to let my body go through the path of the original again. From today on, you are no longer Uzumaki Naruto. You are Uzumaki Sukuna. A proud arc appeared on Lin Kong's lips. His sight also penetrated the spiritual world and saw Naruto outside at this time. The sight came to the outside. Under the scolding of many children and the extreme stone-throwing behavior, Naruto could only swallow his anger and run away. Soon, he fled to the forest outside the village alone. He sat by a stream in the forest with a lonely face, and the tears in the corners of his eyes could not stop falling. I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. I am Uzumaki Naruto. While wiping the tears from the corners of his eyes with his hands, he muttered to himself with a sobbing voice. It was at this time that a voice suddenly came from his mind. Little brat! You are such a coward! Are you willing to let them bully you like this? Chapter 3 Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise when he heard the sudden voice. He subconsciously looked around, trying to find the person who had just spoken to him. But he looked around and saw only dense woods. There was no human figure. Just when he thought he had heard it wrong, the voice sounded again. No need to look. I'm in your spiritual world. Spiritual world? Naruto looked confused. Now he didn't know what the spiritual world was. Buzz. Before he could ask more, he felt a sense of dizziness in his head. As soon as he opened his eyes, the scene in front of him had changed drastically. As far as he could see, there was a slightly dark and gloomy space. Surrounded by walls, the area was vast and empty. Ah! Naruto suddenly screamed and jumped up in fright. Because he found that at this moment, he was stepping on a pool of blood-colored liquid that looked like fresh blood. On the ground around him, bones of various shapes could be seen everywhere. At this moment, it was like falling into a purgatory of corpses and blood. The faint smell of blood in the air was even more horrifying. Ugh! Naruto, who saw the sea of bones and blood for the first time, couldn't help but retching on the spot. It wasn't until he took a long time to calm down and raised his head again with a pale face. He suddenly found that not far in front of him, in the place covered by some shadows, there stood a small hill piled high with countless bones. Naruto subconsciously went up along the hill of bones. A figure gradually came into his eyes. The other person sat lazily on the top of the hill of bones, like the lord of the throne. He crossed his legs, his right hand rested on a skull, and his left hand lazily supported his cheek. But when Naruto saw the other person clearly, his pupils suddenly shrank. You. Naruto looked up at the other person's face, his expression full of horror. Because the other person's face looked exactly like his. The difference was that the other person's face was covered with complex and strange spells. Looking down from a high position, exuding an aura of looking down on everything. It was Lin Kong. To be precise, it was Lin Kong who had entered the state and played the role of two sides of Sukuna. With his current 11% fusion degree, he wanted to pull Naruto, who was full of negative energy, into the spiritual world. It was easy to do. Sukuna saw Naruto staring at him so straight, and his originally lazy face suddenly showed a hint of displeasure. Who allowed you to raise your head so high? Sukuna's cold voice sounded. Shua. The next moment, Sukuna just moved his fingers. A slash was released instantly. Bang! Before Naruto could react, the slash flew past his head at an extremely fast speed. There was only a loud bang, and the slash hit the ground behind Naruto. A crack of more than 1 meter long was instantly split on the ground, and a piece of skull on it was cut in half on the spot. At the same time, a bunch of hair on Naruto's head slowly fell. Plop! Naruto watched this scene with his own eyes, his legs softened and he sat directly on the ground, and his throat couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva nervously. He had no doubt that if the slash just now fell on his body, I'm afraid it would only take a moment to cut him in half. A drop of cold sweat slowly flowed down from his forehead. Fear spread all over his body. Ding! The host absorbs negative energy, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host plays the role of Rayaman Sukuna, which is terrifying, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. At the same time, the system prompt sounded in Lin Kong's mind. The fusion degree has increased again. Lin Kong heard the prompt sound and secretly rejoiced in his heart. He just played it on a whim, and he really gained something in the end. This fusion degree increase is too easy. As for the negative energy just obtained, fear is also a kind of negative emotion. I think it was the slash of solution he used just now. It scared Naruto. In this way, he wanted to increase the fusion degree to 100% as soon as possible and leave the spiritual world. It seems very interesting. Thinking of this, Lin Kong glanced at Naruto, who dared not raise his head casually, and then said in a cold tone. You have to figure it out before I allow you. You are not qualified to ask questions on your own initiative. I ask, you answer. Do you understand? When Naruto heard this, his body shuddered. However, he still nodded obediently. After all, he had witnessed the terrifying strength of the man in front of him, so he didn't dare to do anything rash. Especially the strong sense of oppression that the other party exuded at all times, as if an invisible big hand firmly pressed his body down. As long as he dared to say a word no, this momentum alone would be enough to crush him completely. Remember, I am the king of curses, Rayaman Sukuna. Lin Kong then said to Naruto. Because of some special reasons, I will stay in your spiritual world for a while. Naruto. When Naruto heard this, his face turned pale. The Curse King? Rayaman Sukuna? He had never heard of this title. The key point is that the other party actually wants to temporarily live in his spiritual world? Who can stand this? He was already regarded as a monster by the villagers, and now there is really a monster living in his body? Naruto was unwilling in his heart. However, he could feel that he and the other party were not in the same league at all. Lin Kong seemed to see Naruto's difficulty and said lazily. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. On the contrary, as a reward for your obedience, I can make you stronger. Lin Kong raised a playful arc at the corner of his mouth. As soon as Lin Kong finished speaking, Naruto excitedly raised his head a little. But he immediately remembered the lesson just now and lowered his head quickly. He moved the corner of his mouth, wanting to say something but stopping. You can speak now. Lin Kong smiled knowingly. After all, this was his first meeting with Naruto. He first wanted Naruto to see his strength and feel fear for him. Secondly, he also wanted to make Naruto clear. Although this body is his, he also needs to figure out the banker and the idler. He is the banker, and Naruto is the idler. Only in this way will it be more convenient to train him in the future. Instead of letting Naruto feel that he needs to get more negative energy through Naruto, the right to speak must be in his hands. That. Why do you want to help me? Naruto hesitated and asked weakly. Humph. Don't get me wrong. Lin Kong sneered. I just saw your experience and wanted to have some fun during this boring time. Just to have some fun. Chapter 4. Naruto. Naruto was speechless when he heard Lin Kong's answer. Helping him become stronger, just for fun? From Lin Kong's words, Naruto also realized that his experience seemed to be seen by the other party. Naruto didn't care about these, but suddenly his eyes lit up, thinking secretly in his heart. He seems to be very strong. If he is willing to help me, can I become as strong as him? In that case, will everyone in the village recognize me? Lin Kong didn't know that Naruto was bullied like this. But in his heart, he still wanted to get the recognition of the villagers. When Naruto thought about becoming stronger, it seemed that he didn't have to pay any price, so he nodded and agreed. I want to become stronger. How should I do it? Lin Kong heard the words, and the arc of his mouth was raised even more. But he was not anxious, but said in a cold tone. Let's stop here today. Remember, don't tell anyone about me. I know. Naruto agreed. The next moment, Naruto felt a trance again. When he woke up, he had left the spiritual world. Become stronger. I will become stronger soon. Naruto came back to his senses, and immediately swept away the haze just now, and ran back home happily. At the same time, in the spiritual world, with Naruto's departure and Naruto's mood calmed down, the negative energy that had just appeared in the spiritual world disappeared instantly. Seeing this, Lin Kong touched his chin with one hand and thought, this child is too optimistic. Having been treated with indifference and even hatred by so many people in Konoha village, if it were someone else, they would have planted the seeds of various hatreds. It could explode at any time. Naruto, on the other hand, had his negative emotions vanished in just a moment. This is something that can't be done without a strong enough optimist. It seems that I need to find him a bigger stimulus. But we can't rush this. It's not easy to completely change a person. Lin Kong showed a sly smile and muttered to himself. Naruto's saintly character can't be changed with just 1 or 2 words. If you want Naruto to go on the path of blackening, you still have to stimulate him to change little by little. In this way, he can continuously obtain negative energy from Naruto. He can still tell the difference between eating one mouthful and eating every meal. The whole Konoha had such a big malice towards Naruto when he was a child, so he didn't have to worry about not finding an opportunity. The next morning, Naruto got up early and went to the ninja school as usual. As before, he walked along the way, and all the villagers who saw him showed disgust. It was as if they saw something dirty, and they subconsciously stayed away from him. When they arrived near the school, the parents would remind their children from time to time. When you get to school, try to stay away from that child. Don't get so close to that child, he is a monster known to everyone in the village. Even if that child takes the initiative to talk to you, you are not allowed to pay attention to him, understand? Naruto. Naruto has long been accustomed to the cold words of adults. He just silently quickened his pace to school, and secretly encouraged himself in his heart. Don't care. I don't care. When I become stronger, they will all recognize me. Inside the classroom, Naruto consciously sat in the corner of the classroom. On the one hand, it was because his grades were really bad. It's not an exaggeration to say that he has always been the last one in the class. On the other hand, no one wants to sit at the same table with him. Most of his classmates have been told by their parents to stay away from Naruto. This guy is really completely isolated. I really don't understand, growing up in this environment, why can he still be so passionate? Lin Kong in the spiritual world saw the whole scene and couldn't help but complain. Outside, he has to endure all kinds of cold words and disgusted looks. At school, he is isolated and excluded by his peers. With such a growing environment, he should have turned evil long ago. With all the tricks of the Konoha high-level officials, Naruto would be sorry for this village if he didn't become a rebel. But now that I'm here, I won't let you go down that saint path again. Lin Kong's sight swept through the huge classroom through the spiritual world. Here, he also saw the original work familiar characters one by one. Shikamaru looked lazy and yawned. Chuji quietly opened a bag of potato chips from the bottom of the drawer and ate them secretly. With a doting look, he stroked the hair of Akamaru in his arms with his hands. And the cold-faced Najira, who attracted the attention of countless girls in the front row. Sakura and Ino were looking at Najira with a crazy look. The familiar 12 little strong men of Konoha in the original work basically appeared here. But they looked younger than what Lin Kong remembered. Just as Lin Kong was looking at these familiar characters in his previous life, a figure walked in from outside the classroom. The person was wearing a green ninja costume and had brown hair tied up. On his forehead, he wore a ninja forehead protector from Konoha village. The most eye-catching thing was the long scar between his eyes and nose. It was the teacher of the ninja school, Domino Irika. Irika. Lin Kong in the spiritual world looked at Irika who appeared, his eyes narrowed slightly, and fell into a brief contemplation. This guy is a trouble for his negative energy collection plan. Because he remembered that it was Irika's gentleness that completely changed Naruto. After Naruto knew that he was a demon fox, he was going to take the path of rebelling and blackening. It was Irika who desperately protected Naruto that moved Naruto and took the correct path. It can be said that Irika is the most important turning point in Naruto's entire life. I remember that Irika's parents were killed by the Nine Tails. As long as it is properly controlled, this is actually a better opportunity to stimulate Naruto. A gleam of light flashed in Lin Kong's eyes, and he had already begun to think about how to make good use of Irika's role. This time, he will not let Irika persuade and change Naruto. Cough. At this time, Irika, who walked to the podium, coughed lightly. The classroom, which was a bit noisy at first, suddenly became quiet. Seeing this, Irika announced to everyone. Today's class will consolidate the clone technique for everyone. By the way, let's test how well everyone has mastered the clone technique. Those who perform too poorly will still be detained today. Wow! As soon as Irika finished speaking, there was an uproar in the classroom. Obviously, everyone didn't like this sudden in-class test. Poor performance, and will be detained again. Ah! How could it be the clone technique? This is what I am least good at. In the corner of the classroom, Naruto's face instantly became ugly when he heard that he was going to test the clone technique. He had poor grades in the ninja school. Transformation technique is the ninjutsu he is least good at. Chapter 5. What should I do? What should I do? Naruto in the corner grabbed his hair with both hands, rubbing it, looking embarrassed. Yesterday's transformation technique had already made him lose face in front of his classmates. Today he has to take the clone technique test, isn't it a double torture? He was still fantasizing that when he became stronger, he would show off in front of his classmates. In the end, he has not become stronger yet, and he will become a laughing stock? Humph! At this time, Lin Kong in the spiritual world snorted disdainfully. Just a clone technique, and you are so anxious. Kid, you really disappoint me. Naruto. Naruto heard the mocking voice coming from his mind, and his expression suddenly became a little embarrassed. As a student of the ninja school, he couldn't even use the most basic clone technique normally. He could imagine how the big boss named Sukuna in his body would laugh at him after seeing it. What if he showed too poor talent and the boss didn't help him? He was still counting on Sukuna to guide him to become stronger. Right. At this moment, Naruto suddenly slapped his thigh and his eyes lit up. He muttered to himself, "This Sukuna looks so powerful, there must be a way to help me, right? At least, let's get through today's test first." He had witnessed the powerful slash released by Sukuna in a moment, and he had personally experienced the terrible aura emanating from Sukuna. Just helping him get through this clone test is not as simple as drinking water. Naruto nodded repeatedly, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt that this was the case. That. Don't think about it, I don't know anything about these rubbish ninjutsu. Before Naruto could speak, Lin Kong saw through his mind again and said coldly. That's the fact. Although Lin Kong activated the template of Ryaman Sukuna and integrated all the knowledge about spells, but he knew nothing about ninjutsu. Even if he had the memory of the Naruto world in his previous life, the actual operation was still a different matter. Without chakra, he couldn't use even the lowest level ninjutsu, let alone the clone technique. Naruto. Naruto was completely desperate when he heard this. He lay on the table weakly, as if he had given up struggling. Who knew that Lin Kong's next words would rekindle Naruto's hope? Although I don't know these rubbish ninjutsu, your problem. I have a way to solve it. Naruto, what? Naruto stood up excitedly in an instant. That Ludo. It's okay that you have poor grades, but you dare to be absent in my class. Iruka on the podium immediately glared at Naruto with an angry face. He was just giving a lecture, hoping to help poor students like Naruto. But Naruto didn't listen to the class seriously at all, and interrupted him in a startled manner. Sorry. Teacher Iruka. Naruto came back to his senses, bowed and nodded apologetically, and sat down again. At the same time, Naruto couldn't wait to ask Lin Kong. Are you serious? Can you help me? Lin Kong didn't answer directly, but asked Naruto. Whether it's the clone technique or the transformation technique, you should know how to condense chakra and use it. It's just that the condensation of chakra always has an inexplicable sense of blockage, right? This also causes the ninjutsu you use in the end to often not achieve the effect you expected. Naruto. As soon as these words came out, Naruto's eyes widened a little, his face full of disbelief. How do you know? That's the feeling. Each time I feel that the way to concentrate chakra and use ninjutsu are correct. But when ninjutsu is used, the effect is completely different from that of others. It's like Naruto has finally found someone who understands him, and he keeps sharing his feelings about using ninjutsu. At the same time, in the spiritual world. After listening to Naruto's description, Lin Kong also showed an expression of as expected on his face. It seems that it is because of the nine-tailed fox. Lin Kong said to himself with a very firm tone. Others don't know what the situation is, but Lin Kong knows it too well. The reason why Naruto's grades are so poor is ultimately because of the tailed beast sealed in his body. Nine-tailed demon fox. The nine-tailed fox's chakra is the strongest among the nine-tailed beasts. Because of this, even with the seal of the fourth Hokage, the nine-tails chakra will still overflow. There is another chakra running around in the body, conflicting with its own chakra. It would be strange if it could condense chakra normally. If it cannot condense chakra normally, it is naturally impossible to use ninjutsu normally. But Naruto has not yet discovered that in addition to Raimon Sukuna, there is another monster living in his body. As long as the overflow of the nine tails chakra is solved, Naruto's problem of being the last one will be solved. This guy is a descendant of the Uzumaki clan. Lin Kong held his chin with one hand and pondered in his heart. With the memory of his previous life, he also knew Naruto's life experience clearly. His father is the hero of Konoha, the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze. His mother is Kushina of the Uzumaki clan, the previous nine tails Jinchuriki. Even if there is no genius who inherits the fourth Hokage, the blood of the Uzumaki clan should not be underestimated. The characteristic of the Uzumaki clan's bloodline is that it has a strong vitality and chakra far beyond that of ordinary people. If Naruto had not been disturbed by the nine tails chakra since childhood, he would definitely have achieved something. Otherwise, how could Naruto learn the Raise Nan in the later period and practice the chakra nature change that even the fourth Hokage had not completed? Of course, these things are still a bit far away for Naruto now. The most important thing at the moment is to solve the problem of the nine tails chakra interference. Lin Kong thought alone, and the corners of his mouth gradually rose up, revealing a sly smile. He can help Naruto solve this problem, but the price is... Buzz. Lin Kong waved his hand, and an invisible force spread out of the spiritual world. The next moment, Naruto felt dizzy. When he came to his senses, he had already arrived in the spiritual world. It was still the familiar space full of blood. Seeing Naruto coming, Lin Kong smiled and continued. You can't use ninjutsu normally because there is another chakra in your body that is interfering. I can help you solve this chakra problem. As a price, you have to lend me your body 3 times. When Naruto heard this, his body trembled noticeably. Another chakra? Borrow a body? No matter how naive Naruto was, he felt something was wrong. After all this time, this guy actually set his sights on my body. Chapter 6. Naruto's face suddenly became very ugly. He didn't expect that this big guy named Sukuna actually wanted to borrow his body. What if he didn't return it after borrowing it? Who could he go to for justice? Or, after borrowing his body, Sukuna did some criminal things and then returned the body to him. In the end, he was the one who was held responsible. The most important thing was that he felt weird about lending his body to others. He wanted Sukuna to help him become stronger, but he obviously didn't trust him completely. Agreeing to lend his body to the other party, or to lend it 3 times, was too risky. Naruto looked embarrassed, his mouth moved, and he hesitated, not knowing how to answer. On the one hand, he was really worried about what would happen after he lent his body to Sukuna. On the other hand, he didn't dare to offend this cursed king easily. Apart from the difference in strength between the two sides, he still needs help from the other party. Are you worried that I will do something wrong with your body after I borrow it? Lin Kong seemed to see Naruto's concerns and asked calmly. Well. Naruto didn't dare to raise his head when he heard it, but just nodded silently. Ha ha ha. Lin Kong raised his head and laughed loudly. The unbridled laughter seemed to be full of disdain for Naruto. After a while, he gradually stopped laughing and looked down at Naruto below. I didn't expect that you usually look stupid, but you still use your brain at critical moments. Naruto. Naruto was not happy at all to be praised by Lin Kong in this way. Lin Kong's eyes flashed with a gleam of light, and he raised 2 fingers, and then explained to Naruto. I can make a Chikuo with you. During these 3 times when I borrow your body, I will only attack those who actively send malicious intent to you. Other than that, I will not attack anyone, nor will I kill people casually. And I have 2 conditions. The first is that when I chant Chikuo, you must lend me your body unconditionally for 3 minutes. The second is that after the Chikuo is established, you will forget this agreement. How about it? As long as you agree to make this Chikuo with me, I will solve the problem of the other chakra in your body for you. And, guide you to become stronger. After Lin Kong finished speaking, he grinned and stared at Naruto. Chikuo. Naruto was still wondering what Chikuo was, and suddenly relevant information emerged in his mind. That was directly conveyed to Naruto by Lin Kong through the golden finger system. The so-called Chikuo can also be seen as a kind of agreement, contract, and bondage. Once Lin Kong violates the agreement, he will be severely retaliated by Chikuo. So that's what it means. After receiving the information that emerged in his mind, Naruto nodded in realization. For a moment, he also fell into deep thought. Borrow my body 3 times, each time for only 3 minutes. During this period, you can't kill people casually. If it's just 3 minutes, it should be okay, right? Naruto muttered secretly in his heart. In his opinion, 3 minutes is not enough to do anything. And the other party also made it clear that even if he took action, he would only take action against those who actively sent malice to him. In other words, unless someone took the initiative to cause trouble for him and wanted to take action against him. Otherwise, Sukuna would not take the initiative to kill. Just lending my body to him 3 times can completely solve my chakra disorder problem. It seems quite cost-effective. Naruto gradually became tempted. After all, what he wanted most was to get recognition from others. The best way is for him to become strong enough. According to the other party, the reason why he couldn't use ninjutsu normally was because there was another chakra in his body interfering. As long as this problem is solved, it will only take time to become stronger. What's more, the other party is willing to guide him. Then Ludo. Let's start with you. If you don't pass the clone technique, don't leave after school today. Just when Naruto was still struggling, Irika's voice came. I'll start first. When Naruto heard this, he was a little panicked. Isn't this going to make him the first to embarrass himself in front of his classmates? Thinking of this, Naruto gritted his teeth and nodded and agreed. I promise you. I'll make a promise with you. No matter what, he wants to become stronger. And as Naruto's firm voice came out, the corners of Lin Kong's mouth on the hill of bones almost rose. I can't suppress it anymore. What a simple guy. Lin Kong laughed secretly in his heart. At present, the template fusion degree of Ryomen Sukuna is only 13%. Therefore, he cannot directly control Naruto's body for the time being. If he wants to borrow Naruto's body, he needs to get the consent of Naruto, the owner of the body. So he proposed to set a Chikuo in exchange for 3 opportunities to actively control Naruto's body. But what Naruto didn't know was that the Chikuo set by Lin Kong seemed to protect Naruto and restrain Lin Kong from killing people indiscriminately. But in fact, it was not the case. The key point of Chikuo is that it can only be used against people who actively send malice to him. If it were someone else, the malice they could bear would indeed be very limited. After all, who would send malice to a child in a ninja school for no reason? But the target of Chikuo is Naruto. Nine-tail Jinchuriki. It is no exaggeration to say that at this point in time, almost everyone in Konoha village has great malice towards Naruto. In other words, there is no one in Konoha village that he cannot kill. Lin Kong naturally would not explain these things to Naruto. The 3 times of borrowing the body of Chikuo was only the first step. Next, he would start to guide Naruto to a different path. Swoosh! The next moment, Lin Kong's body disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Naruto. Before Naruto could react, Lin Kong stretched out his palm and placed it on the top of Naruto's head. Chikuo, established. Buzz! In an instant, the dizziness appeared again. Naruto could vaguely feel that at this moment, his body had established a special connection with the other party. When he came back to his senses, he had returned to the outside. What happened just now? I seem to have forgotten something very important. Naruto looked at his body blankly, frowning slightly. With the establishment of Chikuo, Naruto had forgotten the agreement he had made with Lin Kong just now. That Ludo! You're slacking off again. Hurry up and get up. At this time, Irika on the podium shouted angrily. Just now, he interrupted him and dared to slack off continuously. Is this what a last place student should look like? Hey! Yes. Teacher Irika. Naruto was startled by Irika's shout and quickly agreed without thinking about it. He walked towards the podium with a panicked expression. Chapter 7. It's this last place student again. Yesterday, he was the one who made us all stay after class. He's here again today. Don't worry, Irika-sensei said that today, only individual performance will be considered. With his grades, he will definitely be kept after class again. If he can't even use the most basic ninjutsu, what kind of ninja is he? Ha ha ha. As Naruto walked up to the podium, the students around him started to talk about him. They were naturally relieved that only one student with poor performance was punished today. Their words were full of ridicule for Naruto. On the other hand, Naruto. He listened to the undisguised ridicule around him, and he wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. But what he was most worried about now was how to deal with the clone technique test later. At this time, Lin Kong's voice sounded. Don't worry. Since I promised to help you, just follow the previous method and use the clone technique. I'll take care of the rest. Really? When Naruto heard this, he smiled happily. Although he himself didn't remember when this Sukuna boss agreed to help him. But since the other party said so, he was relieved. Soon, Naruto came to the podium. You can start. Be serious. Seeing this, Irika didn't forget to remind Naruto. After all, Naruto has been distracted since just now. Yet. Naruto glanced at Iruka, nodded seriously and agreed. After retracting his gaze, he first took a deep breath to relax. Then, his eyes became more serious. Who? The next moment, Naruto formed seals with his hands and began to condense chakra according to the method taught by the ninja school, preparing to use the clone technique. The blue chakra began to condense and overflow, rotating around his body. In the body, the chakra also continued to flow along the meridian route. Hwalala! At this moment, something unexpected happened. Just as Naruto's own chakra continued to condense and flow along the meridian route. Suddenly, a stream of red chakra emerged in the body. This red chakra seemed very violent, and it directly hit Naruto's blue chakra in a brutal way. Bang! Just a face-to-face collision, Naruto's chakra that he had finally condensed was instantly dispersed by the red chakra. The flow of chakra also began to become intermittent. And this red chakra was the chakra overflowed by the nine tails. At the same time, in the spiritual world, finally appeared the nine tails chakra. Lin Kong, who was sitting on the hill of bones, suddenly opened his eyes. He had a full view of the situation inside Naruto's body. He naturally knew that the overbearing red chakra came from the nine tails sealed in Naruto's body. Although he also lived in Naruto's spiritual world, he had never seen the nine tails. What he had to do now was to sense and track the source of the red chakra and find the location of the nine tails. Beep! The next moment, Lin Kong closed and opened his eyes. A scarlet light flashed in his sharp eyes. His perception suddenly spread out at an astonishing speed, tracking the source of the red chakra. The invisible perception continued to spread along the red chakra. It left the space where Lin Kong was originally, and began to spread rapidly in the huge spiritual world. Naruto's spiritual world is like a huge maze. There were endless passages leading to similar spaces. Soon, with his powerful perception, Lin Kong finally found the source along the chakra. It was one of the rooms in the spiritual world. The red chakra was released continuously from here. Lin Kong continued to expand his perception and entered the room. Buzz! The moment his perception entered the room, he suddenly felt a trance. When he came to his senses, he was already in this new room. Not only his body, but also the hill of bones and blood on the ground were directly transferred here. Lin Kong narrowed his eyes and quickly scanned the surroundings. As far as he could see, the area of the room seemed to be even more spacious. All around, there were still familiar towering walls, forming a semi-enclosed space. His eyes finally fixed on the front. Not far from the front a huge door stood tall. The door was made up of golden metal pillars, connected horizontally and vertically, and the door was closed tightly, like a huge cage. In the middle of the door, a seal was pasted on the paper. The paper was painted with complex bagua patterns. Looking inside the sealed door, it was pitch black and it was hard to see what was inside. Lin Kong's eyes stopped on the seal on the door, and he nodded in realization. This is the 4-symbol seal of the 4th Hokage. To be precise, it is a double 4-symbol seal. The bagua seal formed by the double 4-symbol seal. With this seal, the Nine Tails consciousness can be suppressed to a great extent, preventing it from directly affecting Naruto. At the same time, it can allow the Nine Tails chakra to flow out from the gap in the seal for Naruto to use. The 4th Hokage did this because he believed that his child would be able to control the Nine Tails chakra. But he didn't expect that it was because of this overflowing chakra that Naruto's childhood was so miserable. Gurgle. Just as Lin Kong was curiously looking at the 4th Hokage's big hand of the seal, the surrounding environment suddenly changed. The chakra that flowed out from the gap in the seal no longer spread outward. Instead, it covered the entire floor of the room in a short time. Then, the red chakra seemed to boil, and bubbles kept coming out. An evil breath enveloped Lin Kong in front of the seal door. It was cold and piercing. The evil breath alone was enough to shock people and make them unable to move. Malice. Lin Kong felt the evil breath sweeping over, and a disdainful arc appeared at the corner of his mouth. He is now playing the role of the cursed King Ryaman Sukuna. In terms of malice, how could he lose to a demon fox? Hu boom! The next moment, a scarlet light flashed in Lin Kong's eyes. An even stronger malice burst out from Lin Kong's body. The surging malice seemed to turn into a hideous ghost behind Lin Kong, baring his teeth and howling. In an instant, the powerful malice released by Lin Kong dispersed the malice of the Nine Tails. Bang! Almost at the same time, in the shadow inside the sealed door, a huge sharp claw stretched out from the shadow and slammed heavily on the sealed door. Along with it, there was also an angry voice. Uzumaki Naruto! How dare you appear in front of me? Chapter 8. The angry voice resounded throughout the entire spiritual world room. In the shadows, two scarlet lights slowly lit up. A huge fox head suddenly appeared in front of Lin Kong. The face was ferocious and the fangs were sharp. The orange hair stood up, and the pair of animal eyes exuded a red light full of hostility. The most eye-catching thing was the nine tails that were slowly swinging behind its huge body. Nine-tailed demon fox. Lin Kong traveled to the present and finally saw the nine-tailed fox at such a close distance. Especially after the nine-tailed fox appeared, the red chakra all over the ground became more boiling. The evil aura emanating from the nine-tailed fox's body made people's hair stand up. This is the most powerful tailed beast in the ninja world. Nine-tailed fox, Kurama. Lin Kong stared at the huge nine-tailed fox in front of him, his eyes shining. Only by experiencing it in person can you experience the power of the nine-tailed fox. Apart from anything else, the evil aura emitted by the nine tails alone is enough to scare most ninjas in the ninja world. Just as Lin Kong was looking at the nine tails with interest, the nine tails opened its bloody mouth and roared at Lin Kong again. Roar! The roar seemed to turn into an invisible shock wave, causing violent ripples in the blood and chakra on the ground. Uzumaki Naruto! The nine tails called out Naruto's name again. Because in the eyes of the nine tails, Lin Kong at this time appeared here as Uzumaki Naruto. For this child of his own Jinchuriki who sealed his own fourth Hokage. It was naturally full of anger. If it weren't for the fourth Hokage, if it weren't for this child, it should have lived freely in the outside world, not like now. Sealed in this dark cage. Bang! When the nine-tail thought of this, it slapped the door with its claws even more angrily. But the seal on the door only flickered a little and resisted the nine-tails' attack. The double four-symbol seal set by the fourth Hokage himself was not something it could easily destroy. Otherwise, it would have run out long ago. Seeing that it could not shake the sealed door, the nine-tails' scarlet beast eyes full of hostility once again shifted to the Uzumaki Naruto in front of it. Hee hee. The nine-tails seemed to have thought of something interesting and suddenly sneered. Uzumaki Naruto! Do you want to get my power? Come here, tear off the seal on the door. In this way, you can get my power. The voice of the nine-tail came slowly. In the voice, it seemed to contain a kind of bewitching power that hit Lin Kong's soul directly. Hwalala! At the same time, a more powerful red chakra suddenly released from the feet of the nine-tailed fox. The red chakra passed through the gap of the seal and quickly spread to Lin Kong, who was stunned. In a blink of an eye, the red chakra covered the ground under Lin Kong's feet. Gurgle gurgle. The next moment, more bubbles emerged from the surface of the red chakra. One by one, the bubbles slowly rose and turned into an illusory claw, completely wrapping Lin Kong's body. The evil breath began to erode Lin Kong's consciousness frantically. Come here. Tear off this damn seal for me. Seeing this, the nine-tailed fox continued to seduce Lin Kong with his voice. The corners of its mouth couldn't help but rise high. Naruto had never been here in the past. In addition, with the seal of the fourth Hokage, the nine-tailed fox's consciousness could not directly affect Naruto at all. But now the situation is different. Naruto appeared in the spiritual world, standing right in front of it. At such a close distance, it is confident that it can control Naruto's consciousness. Tear off the seal for it. To deal with a child, even if the power is sealed, it is completely enough. Under the influence of the evil breath of the nine-tailed fox and the enchantment of the voice, Lin Kong, who was sitting on the hill of bones, really stood up slowly. Seeing this scene, the nine-tailed fox said with excitement on his face. Yes. That's it. Come over and tear off the seal on the gate. Remove it. Just when the nine-tailed fox thought that it had successfully controlled the Naruto in front of it, Naruto in front of it suddenly raised his right hand and shouted softly. Bang! The next second, a series of slashes spread out in all directions with him as the center. In just a blink of an eye, the slashes shattered the evil breath that enveloped him. That claw formed by countless bubbles shattered on the spot. Then came Lin Kong's disdainful voice. Nine-tail. It's better not to bring such a low-level trick of bewitching to shame others. Lin Kong slowly raised his head, his eyes were clear and sharp. How could he look like he was controlled? Nine-tail. Nine-tail was stunned instantly, with a face full of question marks. What kind of ninjutsu is that? In an instant, it shattered all its chakra and malice? And what's wrong with this Naruto? Why does he feel more evil than me? Nine-tail was completely stunned. The Uzumaki Naruto in front of him was not affected by its malice at all. In fact, it could feel a more terrifying malice from this Naruto. Pure to the extreme malice. Is this terrible malice that even it is not as good as, should a child have? You are not Uzumaki Naruto. The nine tails seemed to have guessed something, staring at Lin Kong with a pair of beast eyes, and said firmly. Who are you? Why did you appear in Uzumaki Naruto's body? The nine tails had a fierce look in its eyes and questioned Lin Kong fiercely. It also realized that the Naruto in front of it was not simple. Ordinary people can't come here and bear its malice. Lin Kong didn't rush to answer the nine tails after hearing this. His eyes looked at the nine tails chakra and malice that he had just used to slash and smashed the ground. Because from it, he clearly felt a very powerful negative energy. This is a big tonic thing. Lin Kong raised a playful arc at the corner of his mouth. The nine tails was sealed in the bodies of one Jinchuriki after another, and had accumulated a huge amount of resentment and hatred. And these resentments, hatred, anger, are the source of negative energy. What Lin Kong needs most now is a large amount of negative energy. Thinking of this, Lin Kong sneered and glanced at the nine-tailed fox. Hey! The next moment, he opened his mouth and a strong suction burst out of his mouth. As the suction spread, the chakra and malice that had just been shattered by his slash began to gather madly towards Lin Kong's mouth. Gurgle, gurgle. Then, under the extremely shocked gaze of the nine-tailed fox, Lin Kong swallowed all the negative energy one mouthful at a time. Chapter 9. Nine-tailed fox. Nine-tailed fox stared at everything in front of it with disbelief. A human actually ate the malice it released right in front of it. Is this still a human? You know, its malice has been accumulated for many years and is formed by different negative emotions. Once humans come into contact with it, they will be affected by the malice and lose their minds. This is the first time it has encountered a situation where it directly eats its malice. The key is, this guy in front of him doesn't seem to be affected by the malice at all. Even, he looks like he is enjoying it. Lin Kong's actions undoubtedly refreshed Nine-tailed Fox's cognition. Not only is he more evil than me, he can also eat my malice. After eating the malice, it seems to have become stronger? Am I a monster, or are you a monster? Yes. Nine-tailed Fox's feeling is absolutely right. At this time, after Lin Kong ate a lot of negative energy, his strength was also rapidly increasing. In Lin Kong's mind, the familiar system prompt sound kept ringing. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of the nine-tailed fox, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host plays Sukuna and makes the nine-tailed fox feel scared, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs. As the endless negative energy is eaten, the template fusion degree of Ryaman Sukuna also increases rapidly. The power of Ryaman Sukuna unlocked by Lin Kong has become more and more powerful, until the surrounding negative energy is eaten up by Lin Kong. The system prompt sound sounded again. Ding! The host absorbs negative energy, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host Ryaman Sukuna template fusion degree reaches 20%, unlocking ability, open. A message about unlocking new abilities has been integrated into Lin Kong's mind. As the fusion degree increases, Lin Kong can also gradually unlock all the abilities of Ryaman Sukuna. This is another ability after release and 8, open. After receiving the introduction of the ability of system fusion, Lin Kong raised his right hand and wiped the corner of his mouth with some regret. This scene once again stunned the Nine Tails. It was as if he was telling it, "I haven't eaten enough? Is this a human?" At this time, Lin Kong finally introduced himself to the Nine Tails. "I am indeed not Uzumaki Naruto. I am the Curse King, Ryaman Sukuna. Uzumaki Naruto is just my body." Nine Tails. Nine Tails was full of questions. Curse King? Ryaman Sukuna? What is that? It is a tailed beast differentiated from the Six-Path Sage and has lived until now. His experience in the ninja world is definitely at the level of an old senior. Even so, it has never heard of the Curse King. And the body, what does that mean? Seeing that Kyuubi was still confused, Lin Kong smiled and continued to explain. You can also understand that my situation is similar to yours. The difference is that you are sealed here. And I chose Uzumaki Naruto to be my body. In the end, I will completely take over his body. Become your new master. Bang! As soon as Lin Kong finished speaking, Kyuubi angrily slammed the sealed door with his claws. What a joke! I am not anyone's pet. If it weren't for the damn seal of the Fourth Hokage, I would have killed Uzumaki Naruto long ago. And you, dare to speak nonsense in front of me. Kyuubi is angry. It has been sealed in the bodies of 3 Jinchuriki, Uzumaki Mito, Uzumaki Kushina, Uzumaki Naruto. Now, the person in front of it is telling it to take over Uzumaki Naruto's body? Doesn't that mean it wants to become the 4th Jinchuriki's tailed beast? Although they are all in Uzumaki Naruto's body, it will never allow such a thing to happen. Except for the Six-Path Sage, no one can be its master. Ha ha ha. Lin Kong laughed out loud when he heard this. It's just a little fox that is sealed. Do you think you have the right to choose? Don't get it wrong. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm ordering you. Roar. When the Nine Tails heard this, its originally scarlet eyes glowed with a violent light. Lin Kong's condescending tone really made it too upset. Do you really keep it as a pet? Splash! The next moment, the Nine Tails burst out with even more powerful chakra. The red chakra gushed out from the cracks in the seal like seawater. The chakra slowly rose in the blink of an eye, it condensed into the appearance of the nine-tailed fox. I will eat you now. The nine-tailed fox roared, controlled the chakra to condense into the nine-tailed fox, opened its bloody mouth and bit towards Lin Kong. On the other hand, Lin Kong still looked calm and composed. Not to mention that the nine-tailed fox is now sealed and can only use part of the chakra. Even if the nine-tailed fox's body comes out, he is not afraid. The Curse King Ryaman Sukuna is not weaker than you, the nine-tailed fox. At the moment when the chakra-condensed nine-tailed fox bit over, Lin Kong quickly stretched out his right hand and grabbed the nose of the chakra nine-tailed fox. The 5 fingers suddenly bent and squeezed with force in an instant. Stay here honestly and become my nutrients for collecting negative energy. Bang! Lin Kong squeezed hard, and the chakra nine-tailed fox was crushed on the spot. The chakra that was very active just now immediately retreated at a very fast speed. At the same time, inside the sealed door, the Nine-Tails body seemed to be injured and took a step back, and the shadow behind it gradually covered its body. In the end, the Nine-Tails could only roar unwillingly. I will remember you. Next time we meet, I will never forgive you. After the voice fell, the Nine-Tails body completely disappeared in the shadow. After all, the Nine-Tails was still in a sealed state. Such a forced burst of chakra attacks before and after also made it exhausted and temporarily fell into a deep sleep. Seeing this, Lin Kong clapped his hands in satisfaction and said, "Now, the problem of the Nine-Tails chakra should not be taken care of for a short time." The Nine-Tails fell into a deep sleep temporarily, and its chakra naturally would not come out to interfere with Naruto again. But the harvest this time was somewhat beyond my expectations. System panel. Lin Kong summoned the system panel with a thought. Host, Lin Kong. Cursed World, Naruto World. Template, Cursed King, Ryaman Sukuna. Template Fusion Degree, 20%. Field, None. Ability, Release, 8, Open. Receiving Body, Uzumaki Naruto. Lin Kong looked at the system panel, which had been raised to 20% template fusion degree, and the extra open in the ability column. He couldn't help laughing. Originally, according to his plan, he used his own Ryaman Sukuna's strength to forcibly block the Nine-Tails chakra from interfering with Naruto's chakra. Unexpectedly, not only did he solve this problem, he also took the opportunity to pull a wave of fox fur from the Nine-Tails, and the negative energy was directly absorbed. Chapter 10. Lin Kong looked at the system panel with a smile on his face. According to this progress, it shouldn't take long before even Sukuna's domain can be unlocked. How could I forget about the Nine-Tails? Like Naruto, the Nine-Tails is also a negative energy generator. He patted his cheeks and regretted not coming to the Nine-Tails earlier. After all, the Nine-Tails is also a big head with overflowing negative energy. It was originally one of the tailed beasts separated from the 10 tails by the Six-Path Sage, and it was completely free after the Six-Path Sage died. Unexpectedly, it happened to meet Uchiha Madara, a human who could control it with his pupil power. Not only was it controlled, it was also forcibly involved in the battle between the Uchiha and Senju clans. Later, it was sealed by the first generation of Hokage, and the first generation's wife Uzumaki Mito became the first Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Then there was the second Uzumaki Kushina and the third Uzumaki Naruto. During this period, he was also controlled by the Masked Man, worked for the Masked Man and was beaten. These experiences made the Nine-Tailed Fox have great malice towards humans. These malices were rare and rich negative energy for Lin Kong. Lin Kong didn't have to do anything extra. Just standing in front of the Nine-Tailed Fox, he could harvest a lot of negative energy. However, the Nine-Tailed Fox was still sealed after all, and the negative energy could only be collected slowly again and again. As long as he didn't foolishly persuade the Nine-Tailed Fox like in the original book. The negative energy of the Nine-Tailed Fox can be harvested every once in a while. With Naruto and the Nine-Tailed Fox, two negative energy generators, he didn't have to worry about not being able to improve the template fusion degree. Next, let's see what the actual effect is. Lin Kong waved his hand and dispersed the system panel. At the same time, his sight also passed through the spiritual world and looked at Naruto outside. His sight returned to reality. What happened in the spiritual world actually only took a short time. What's going on? My chakra has become much smoother. Naruto, who was concentrating chakra, was suddenly surprised. Just now, his body had the same situation as before. When he first concentrated chakra, chakra could flow smoothly. But not long after, the intermittent blockage of chakra appeared again. He held back a lot of strength and concentrated on concentrating chakra. But he could only feel very weak chakra flowing slowly in his body. Just when he thought that this transformation would end in failure, The chakra in his body suddenly surged again. It's him. He must have helped me. Naruto immediately realized that it must be that Ryuman Sukuna who helped me. So his chakra would flow smoothly again. That's the feeling. Naruto secretly thanked Lin Kong in his heart and quickly seized the opportunity when a large amount of chakra surged. Clone technique. Bang! The next moment, 2 clouds of white smoke rose on the left and right sides of Naruto. As the white smoke dissipated, the students in the classroom, including Iruka next to the podium, all widened their eyes. Because they all saw that 2 identical Naruto appeared next to Naruto. Regardless of height, body shape, demeanor, they were exactly the same as Naruto's original body. Naruto not only used the clone technique perfectly, but also created 2 clones at once. You know, in the past, under the interference of the Nine Tails chakra, every time Naruto used the clone technique, the clone that was transformed was either as soft as mud, or a small Naruto the size of a palm. It's not like now, the clone and the original body are difficult to distinguish with the naked eye. Is it true? Naruto succeeded. And he created 2 identical clones at once. Yagi, who was sitting in his seat, rubbed his eyes in disbelief, as if he had seen something shocking. Woof! In Yagi's arms, Akamaru also shouted in agreement. Is this still the Naruto I know? The clone technique actually succeeded at once. Sakura also widened her eyes, even wondering if she was dreaming, and pinched her cheeks hard. She was sure that this was true until she felt the pain in her cheeks. How boring! It's just a clone technique, but you're making such a fuss. Hinoki couldn't help but complain. But his eyes also stayed on Naruto for a while. Today's last place winner seems a little different? Then Ludo-kun. Hinata looked at Naruto, who was shining on the podium, and her face washer cheeks slightly blushed, as if she was happy for Naruto from the bottom of her heart. This kid. It seems that he didn't completely ignore my words. Iruka looked at the 2 clones that Naruto transformed and nodded with satisfaction. He must have practiced hard in private. Iruka didn't know that the reason why Naruto could use the clone technique so smoothly was because Lin Kong cut off the interference of the Nine Tails chakra for him. Iruka thought that it was because Naruto practiced diligently in private. In the spiritual world, Lin Kong saw this scene and smiled with satisfaction. Sure enough. Without the interference of the Nine Tails chakra, Naruto is definitely not a slacker. The chakra of the Uzumaki clan is still something. Normally, even if there is no interference from the Nine Tails chakra, the clone technique should only create 1 clone. The reason why Naruto was able to create 2 clones at once was because his chakra was suddenly unblocked and he couldn't control it well. The Uzumaki clan has more chakra than ordinary people. By accident, he created 2 perfect clones. Lin Kong was still very satisfied with this result. After all, Naruto is now his body. If the body's talent is too poor, he should find a way to change it. Now it seems that Naruto's body is barely qualified. At this time, Iruka also praised Naruto. Not bad, not bad. Then Ludo, you did a good job this time. Keep up the good work. Naruto, who was praised by Iruka for the first time, was stunned for several seconds. Yes. Teacher Iruka. I will definitely work harder. Then, Naruto promised Iruka with a happy face. Even on his way back to his seat, he received rare surprised looks from his classmates. This was something Naruto had never felt before. Thank you. If it weren't for you, I would have been embarrassed. After returning to his seat, Naruto hurriedly thanked Lin Kong in the spiritual world. Naruto knew that if it weren't for Lin Kong's help, he would not have received praise, but ridicule and scolding. Lin Kong just smiled slightly when he heard this, and did not answer. What he was going to do next was not worth any thanks. In this way, Naruto happily spent a day at the ninja school. Until school was over, his face was filled with a happy smile. Uzumaki Naruto. Stop right there. But just as Naruto walked out of the school gate, an angry voice came from behind him. Chapter 11. Naruto's face suddenly turned ugly when he heard the shouts behind him. Instead of stopping, he quickened his pace and ran out of the school. Who knew that even though he was trying to escape, the people behind him were still chasing him? He could only listen to the footsteps behind him, getting closer and closer. Stop! Just as he turned into a small alley, a figure passed him and blocked his way. At the same time, two other figures also blocked the road behind him. Naruto looked up and frowned slightly. It's them again. Naruto said timidly in his heart. The one blocking him was his classmate, Tanaki. The two behind him were Tanaki's little followers from the same class. Usually in the ninja school, Tanaki and his little followers often troubled Naruto. Because of this, Naruto wanted to escape quickly after hearing the other party's voice just now. At this time, Tanaki walked slowly to Naruto, clasped his hands in front of him, and said in a somewhat arrogant tone. Okay. You are the last one. You heard me calling you, but you still ran. Don't think you are great just because you performed better in front of the teacher today. Naruto lowered his head timidly and retorted weakly. I didn't. Bang. Before Naruto finished speaking, Tanaki kicked Naruto in the stomach. The sudden kick made Naruto fall to the ground holding his stomach. Then, Tanaki and the other two followers punched and kicked him. As Tanaki kicked, he said disdainfully. Everyone in the village knows that you are a monster. A monster should look like a monster. Why are you trying to show off? You are the one who made us perform poorly and become a laughing stock. Tanaki cursed angrily, and the force of kicking Naruto increased a bit. Lin Kong in the spiritual world saw this scene, rubbed his forehead helplessly and said. School bullying? Is this okay? You didn't even fight back for this kind of trouble that came to your door. Lin Kong looked at Naruto who curled up and used his hands to protect his important parts. At this moment, he only felt a sense of regret. The adults in the village spoke coldly, but it was fine if Naruto couldn't beat them. How could two random children bully him? This is not worthy of being his two-sided Sukuna's body. Thinking of this, Lin Kong said to Naruto. Why don't you fight back? The more you do this, the easier it will be for them to bully you. Naruto heard this, and said helplessly. I tried to fight back. But in the end they will only get worse. The fight was discovered, and their parents will only blame me. And I. Naruto stopped talking here. Yes. He has been like this since he was a child, without any relatives. No brothers or sisters, no parents. When beaten, other children can still cry to their families. Older brothers and sisters will support them and get back on their feet. Only he has nothing. Even if the fight goes to school, the other party's parents will only blame him as a monster. The teachers will also think that he is the one who caused the trouble. When Lin Kong heard this, his expression became even more disdainful. He looked at Naruto who was being beaten, and said in a cold tone. Kid. If you are only this level, don't even think about getting stronger. I won't teach a loser who doesn't even have the courage to fight back. Naruto. When Naruto heard this, he subconsciously wiped away the moisture from his eyes. He could never give up on becoming stronger. He gritted his teeth and asked Lin Kong. Then what should I do? Let them be afraid of you. Fear you. They still dare to trouble you because you are not cruel enough. As long as they are completely scared, they will not dare to trouble you again. What you need is to amplify the anger in your heart. Lin Kong kept guiding Naruto. He said this not only to collect Naruto's negative energy, but also because he couldn't stand it anymore. Someone bullied you? The right way is not to cry and scream. It is to take action directly and scare the bully. If it doesn't work once, try it twice. If it doesn't work twice, try it 3 times. Only if you are ruthless enough to yourself and others, no one will dare to follow you. I will bully you. Angry. When Naruto heard what Lin Kong said, he slowly clenched his hands. At this moment, his mind also emerged with all kinds of experiences in the past. It seemed that there was another voice questioning him. Why should he be bullied? Why did the adults and children in the village treat him like a monster? Why did he only want to be recognized by others, but in return he was treated coldly? Why? Why? It seemed that the negative emotions emitted by Lin Kong's two Sukuna templates affected Naruto's emotions that had been accumulated deep in his heart for a long time, as if a gap had been opened. Grievance, unwillingness, sadness, all turned into anger. Ah! The next moment, Naruto, with red eyes, violently knocked away the fists and feet of Tanaki and the other two and stood up and roared. Plop! Just when Tanaki was still in a daze, Naruto directly bumped into him and knocked Tanaki to the ground. Bang! 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 Naruto's clenched fists hit Tanaki's face one after another. Once, twice, 3 times. Until Naruto himself didn't know how many times he had swung his fists, until he felt his fists had a sticky touch, then he stopped. Looking at Tanaki in front of him, he had already been beaten unconscious. Tanaki's whole face was swollen like a pig's head. Drops of blood slowly dripped from Naruto's fist. Naruto slowly turned his head, his eyes filled with anger, staring at the remaining 2 people. He said in a cold voice. From now on, don't bully me anymore. The other 2 children were completely dumbfounded when they saw this scene. When they saw Naruto's face stained with drops of blood and his red eyes, the 2 could no longer hold back, and turned around and ran away in fear. Monster! Monster is killing people! On the other hand, Naruto glanced at the unconscious Tanaki on the ground, stood up and slowly left the alley. At the same time, Lin Kong in the spiritual world also showed a wicked smile. In his mind, the system prompt sounded immediately. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of Uzumaki Naruto, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs the surrounding fear negative energy, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Lin Kong listened to the system prompt sound and secretly rejoiced in his heart. He finally guided Naruto, and some changes happened. Chapter 12. Lin Kong looked at the panel that had increased the fusion degree by 2% again, nodded and said to himself. Naruto, this guy, has suppressed his negative emotions for too long. I just used the negative emotions of Ryaman Sukuna to guide him, and he exploded directly. The effect is pretty good. He was not only guiding Naruto with words, but also using the powerful malice of Ryaman Sukuna to affect Naruto's emotions. However, he knew that it was Naruto himself who really made Naruto rage and run away. Even the most optimistic people can't completely ignore negative emotions. What's more, Naruto has suffered so much unfair treatment since he was a child because of the 9 tails. It's just that all those negative emotions were suppressed by Naruto in the end. The negative emotions of Ryaman Sukuna he exuded were like a torch, igniting Naruto's long accumulated negative emotions all at once. With this experience, he also knew better how to continue to guide Naruto to change. You want to be the Hokage? Then become the cage that everyone fears and dares not ignore you anymore. At the same time, in the alley. Swoosh! Just after Naruto left, a sound of breaking wind suddenly sounded. The next moment, a figure appeared on the wall of the alley, looking down at the scene in the alley. The man was wearing a black tights combat uniform and a short knife behind him. His head was bald, and he wore an orange and white mask with strange patterns on his face, which covered his appearance. The mask unique to Konoha's Anbu. The man was none other than Konoha's Anbu, Lin Yu. His main responsibility was to follow the orders of the Third Hokage and secretly monitor the every move of the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Obviously, he had a full view of what happened in the alley just now. Anbu Lin Yu stood on a high place, looking at the scene in the alley with a slightly flickering look. The student named Tanaki was still unconscious on the ground. Around his body, traces of blood splashing and falling were clearly visible. Especially Tanaki's face, which was beaten so badly that it was horrible. Lin Yu frowned slightly under the mask, and his voice was slightly low, and he murmured in surprise. What happened to the nine-tailed Jinchuriki? Why did he suddenly attack so cruelly today? He had been ordered to monitor the nine-tailed Jinchuriki, so he also knew the character of the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Even if he was scolded by people and thrown stones at his face, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki had always endured it. But why did he suddenly run wild today? On weekdays, the nine-tailed Jinchuriki was also bullied a lot, right? It's better to report this matter to the Hokage as soon as possible. The performance of the nine-tailed Jinchuriki is a bit strange. Lin Yu thought seriously and finally decided. Although the nine-tails Jinchuriki's runaway did not release any nine-tails chakra, it was just an emotional outburst. But after all, it involved the nine-tails Jinchuriki's temperament change, so he decided to report it to the Third Hokage immediately. Swoosh! The next moment, Lin Yu's figure disappeared from the spot. The sight returned to Naruto. After leaving the alley, Naruto ran all the way out of the village. Unknowingly, he came to the stream in the forest outside the village again. He stood by the stream and saw his current appearance through the reflection of the clear stream. His eyes were bloodshot and red because of anger. On his cheeks and palms, there were drops of blood from beating up Tanaki. This look was completely different from his previous appearance. He looked at his reflection in the water, and his clenched fists slowly loosened. The bloodshot in his eyes gradually faded, and the anger gradually subsided. What happened to me just now? Naruto looked confused and at a loss. He himself didn't know what happened just now. He only remembered that he couldn't stand the other party beating him like this. In anger, he chose to stand up and resist. When he came to his senses, Tanaki's face was already covered with blood. Now that he calmed down, he regretted it a little. Tanaki? Is he okay? Should I go back and see? Naruto whispered timidly. He recalled the tragic scene of Tanaki falling down at the end, and was a little afraid that he really beat him to death. If that was the case, wouldn't he be a murderer? Humph! At this time, in Naruto's mind Lin Kong snorted disdainfully. Little brat! If you dare to go back, don't even think about me helping you get stronger. Lin Kong said in a cold tone. He had already fought, and he still went back to check on the other party's injuries. Then, wasn't his previous efforts in vain? Naruto instantly became honest after hearing this. He could only pray in his heart that the other party was just beaten up by him and would not be in any danger of life. That. Naruto hesitated and asked Lin Kong weakly. When can you guide me to become stronger? This is the issue he cares about most. He has always believed that as long as he becomes strong enough, he can get everyone's recognition. Things like today will naturally not happen. Hearing this, Lin Kong was silent for a moment. After a long while, he spoke again. I want you to remember the feeling of anger just now. This is very important for me to guide you in training later. The feeling of anger. Naruto seemed to understand. Remembering the feeling of anger can make you stronger? This seems to be a little different from what he learned in the ninja school. Also, from now on, you must increase your physical training every day. Your body is too weak. Lin Kong's voice sounded again. This was Lin Kong's decision after careful consideration. As his body, Naruto's current body is indeed too weak. The reason why he wanted Naruto to remember the feeling of anger just now was to guide him to try to practice cursed power later. The source of cursed power is negative emotions, and the emotion of anger is one of the simpler ones. He doesn't know ninjutsu or illusion, and can't guide Naruto too much. Therefore, he had to let Naruto improve his physical skills and strengthen this body. In this way, even if Naruto cannot learn the cursed power, when he takes over this body, he will not be in a very weak state. Of course, if Naruto can also learn the cursed power, this body can adapt to the cursed power in advance. This is also crucial for him to completely take over this body in the future and whether he can exert his full strength. Physical skills. Start now. Naruto looked confused. He thought that the other party was going to teach him some powerful ninjutsu. Unexpectedly, the other party asked him to practice physical skills first. After all, most ninjas mainly practice ninjutsu or illusion. Few people practice physical skills. Start now. Lin Kong answered affirmatively. Naruto did not dare to refute after hearing this. He glanced at his reflection in the water, scratched his head and said, "Let me clean the blood on my body first." After Naruto finished speaking, he squatted by the stream and scooped up the stream water to wash the stains on his body and face. It was at this time that Lin Kong in the spiritual world seemed to sense something and reminded Naruto. Someone is coming. Chapter 13. Naruto stopped what he was doing when he heard Lin Kong's reminder. He looked around with curiosity. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The next moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared behind Naruto. Looking at the 3 people again, they were all wearing the green combat uniforms of the Konoha ninjas and wearing ninja forehead protectors on their foreheads. It seemed that they were also ninjas from Konoha village. You are. Don't move. Naruto saw that they were ninjas from Konoha village and was about to stand up and greet them. Who knew that the leading ninja with short black hair and a clear scar on his face shouted angrily. Naruto. The other party's sudden shout made Naruto stand there in a daze, not daring to move. What puzzled Naruto even more was that the other party even took out a kunai and held it tightly in his hand. After carefully looking at Naruto, the other party said in a serious tone. I am the captain of the first team of the Konoha patrol team, Gengo. Who are you? Why did you appear in the territory of Konoha village? Why are you covered in blood? When Naruto heard what the other party said, he looked down at his body again, and suddenly realized it. When he looked at it himself, he didn't feel anything, just felt a little dirty. But from other people's perspectives, it was completely different. In Gengo's eyes, he was covered in blood and was washing blood by the stream. It was just like a murderer who had just killed someone and was washing the evidence here. No. You misunderstood, Naruto was about to explain himself, but another member of the patrol team suddenly shouted. Captain! Captain! He widened his eyes a little, as if he recognized Naruto, and said in surprise. I recognize him. He is the monster in the village. It's that child. Captain Gengo looked at Naruto carefully again. His pupils suddenly shrank, and he woke up immediately. It's him. Gengo also recognized that the child in front of him was the demon fox hated by everyone in the village. However, because the 3rd generation had ordered that no one was allowed to mention the demon fox in front of Naruto. Over time, the people in the village also called Naruto a monster. He didn't expect to meet the demon fox here. More importantly, the other party was covered in blood, and no one knew what he had done. Thinking of this, Gengo not only did not relax his vigilance, but instead tightened his grip on the kunai in his hand and asked Naruto in a stern tone. Answer my question. Why are you covered in blood? Did you kill someone? Naruto hesitated and didn't know how to explain for a while. Although he didn't kill anyone, he did hit someone just now. He also beat the other person's head in blood. Before Naruto could figure out how to explain his blood, the patrol team member just now directly asserted. Captain! Look at his appearance, there is no doubt about it. He must have killed someone. As soon as the voice fell, another team member nodded and agreed. That's right. It must be like this. This monster finally revealed its true nature. With the affirmation of the 2 team members, Captain Gengo's expression became more and more solemn. That year, the demon fox invaded Konoha and killed countless villagers in Konoha village overnight. He also witnessed the cruelty of the demon fox and watched his relatives die tragically under the claws of the demon fox. He had always been against Naruto, the demon fox, staying in the village. But this was the decision of the Sandaime, and he could not influence it. Now seeing this demon fox appearing here with blood on his body undoubtedly stimulated him to recall the tragic situation of the year. The look he gave Naruto gradually became hateful. Uzumaki Naruto. I am going to arrest you as a murderer now. Please go back to the patrol headquarters with me and cooperate with the investigation. After Gengo finished speaking, he nodded and signaled to the two companions beside him. The three of them held the kunao tightly and approached Naruto step by step with caution. I didn't kill. Bang. Seeing the three people approaching step by step, Naruto stood up anxiously and wanted to continue explaining. Unexpectedly, Gengo came to Naruto in an instant. He didn't give Naruto a chance to react, and kicked Naruto in the stomach with force. Puff. Naruto spat out a mouthful of blood on the spot due to the force of the kick. The whole person was out of control and rushed to he flew backwards. It was not until his body hit a big tree behind him that he stopped in a mess. Cough, cough. Naruto fell to the ground, only to feel his chest churning and coughing up blood again. I didn't kill anyone. Why don't you believe me? Swish. Naruto endured the pain in his stomach and only wanted to prove his innocence. But the next second, the kunao shot out and instantly cut his cheek. Blood slowly flowed out from the wound on his cheek. He swallowed the words that just came to his mouth. His expression was full of horror, and he looked at the kunao that was deeply nailed to the tree beside him with disbelief. At this moment, Naruto was a little scared. Because he could clearly feel the hostility of Gengo and the other two towards him. The other party seemed to really want to kill him. If the kunao had been a little more off, it would have pierced his head. At this time, Gengo also took out another kunao and warned Naruto in a bad tone. I told you, don't move. If it weren't for the Sandaime's order, I would have a reason to kill you for your behavior just now. Naruto was completely panicked. He appeared here with blood on his body, and he even cleaned the blood in front of the patrol team. This is difficult to explain clearly. If he was taken back to the patrol team for interrogation, he might not be able to get out. With the malice these people had towards him, it seemed that they would not believe anything he said. At the same time, Naruto's negative emotions continued to emerge. Why? They have to conclude that I killed someone even though there is no evidence. Just because I am what they call a monster, can they frame me like this? I am also a member of Konoha village. Naruto bit his lips tightly, and all kinds of negative emotions became stronger and stronger. Grievance, sadness, pain, anger. He couldn't understand that he was trying so hard to get recognition from others. Why did he get doubts again and again? At the same time, in the spiritual world. Hwalala. As Naruto's negative emotions rose, changes also occurred in the room of the spiritual world. The blood on the ground churned violently, and wisps of blood-red energy slowly rose. Seeing this, Lin Kong, who was sitting on the hill of bones, showed a smug smile. Gurgle, gurgle. He raised his head and opened his mouth, and a strong suction burst out of his mouth, absorbing and eating all the negative energy around him. After Lin Kong had a full meal, the system's prompt sounded. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of Uzumaki Naruto's sadness, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of Uzumaki Naruto's anger, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs. Chapter 14. After the system's prompt stopped, Lin Kong's face also showed a satisfied expression. Negative energy, delivered to the door. In just a short while, his Ryuman Sukuna's template fusion degree increased by another 3%. The current template fusion degree has reached 25%. Collecting negative energy from Naruto and the people around him is much easier than Lin Kong expected. But Lin Kong raised his head and looked outside through the spiritual world. He looked at the 3 Konoha patrol members who were still approaching Naruto step by step, and a cold arc appeared at the corner of his mouth. My body can't accept any interrogation now. The smile became more evil and cold. Although Ryomen Sukuna's template is very powerful, he has only unlocked 25% of his strength now. Once Naruto is caught by the patrol and interrogated, with the means of Konoha ninjas, he is likely to discover his existence. If the Konoha high-level officials join forces and put another seal on him, it will be troublesome. Since Naruto has become his body, it is only a matter of time before he takes over Naruto's body. But now is not the time to fight with the Konoha high-level officials. In order to hide my existence, I have to let you go to hell. A scarlet light flashed in Lin Kong's eyes. Hoo. The next moment, Lin Kong's eyes became sharp. A red and black evil aura burst out instantly. The evil aura seemed to turn into a huge ghost shadow and enveloped Naruto's body at an alarming speed. As this evil aura enveloped him, Naruto's body trembled slightly. The negative emotions that had just risen in his heart seemed to be magnified several times at this moment. He subconsciously clenched his fists, and continued to laugh and mutter. I am Uzumaki Naruto. I am not a monster. Not a murderer. You can't slander me. You can't arrest me. Why do you treat me like this? At this time, Lin Kong's bewitching voice also sounded in Naruto's heart. Want to resist? They all bully you because you are too weak. Lend me your body, I will erase all doubts for you. As Lin Kong's voice sounded, Naruto only felt a trance in his consciousness. In a blink of an eye, he had appeared in the spiritual world. He curled up his body, squatting on the ground helplessly and desperately. The blood-red evil breath completely wrapped his body. Under the influence of this evil breath, he slowly lowered his head and buried it between his legs. It seemed that he didn't want to face everything in the outside world, but just wanted to hide here to escape. His voice was weak, and he agreed as if possessed by a ghost. I will lend you my body. Help me, solve all the troubles. Lin Kong smiled smugly when he heard this. In fact, according to the agreement that Lin Kong had made with Naruto before, he could have directly borrowed Naruto's body. But considering that there were only 3 chances, Lin Kong adopted this bewitching method. With Naruto's current state, there was no need to waste 3 chances. Sure enough, Naruto finally agreed and lent him his body. As you wish. Lin Kong sneered, and his body disappeared in the spiritual world. At the same time, outside the reality. Captain, what's wrong with him? One of the patrol team members asked Captain Jengo with a puzzled look on his face. Because the demon fox suddenly became a little strange from his performance just now. At first, he was inexplicably muttering something in a low voice. Then he suddenly lowered his head again, as if he had lost consciousness, and did not move. Hearing this, Jengo frowned slightly. He did not know what happened to Naruto. He just watched Naruto suddenly lower his head and did not react. He did not know why in his heart. Suddenly, he felt uneasy. He stared at Naruto and urged his companions. Tie him up first and take him back to the patrol team. The 2 team members nodded in agreement. The 3 of them continued to approach Naruto vigilantly. It was at this time that Naruto, who had just lowered his head, suddenly raised his head. Then, under the horrified gaze of Jengo and the other 2, Naruto's forehead, cheeks, chin, and nose. A curse pattern appeared strangely. Looking at Naruto at this time, his eyes became completely different, sharp, and exuding murderous intent. He grinned, revealing a wicked and playful smile. Uzumaki Sukuna is officially online. Uzumaki Sukuna first raised his hands and clenched his fists, as if he was feeling the feeling of regaining his body. Then, he swept his cold eyes over the three people in front of him, and said in a cold tone. Your heads are raised too high. Shua. As soon as the voice fell, 2 slashes were released instantly. The speed of the slash was so fast that even the strength of the 3 chunins of Jengo could not react at all. Puff, puff. The slash swept past in an instant, and the sound of flesh being cut sounded. Blood splattered and blood foam flew. 2 heads flew into the air in response. Jengo, who was in the middle, suddenly widened his eyes and looked at the 2 companions beside him in great shock. In just a moment, the heads of the 2 companions disappeared. The wound of the decapitation was as smooth as a mirror. 2 blood fountains spurted out from the wound immediately. Zaquan. Jotaro. Ah! The next moment, as the blood gushed out on his face, Jengo finally reacted. He screamed and called out the names of his 2 companions, but all he got was 2 headless bodies falling. Fear instantly enveloped Jengo's heart. Both companions were chunin like him. They were beheaded and killed by each other in an instant? What kind of terrifying strength is that? Jengo subconsciously looked at Uzumaki Sukuna, and his pupils suddenly shrank. Where is the person? He found that Uzumaki Sukuna, who was in front of him just now, had disappeared at this time. Just when he was shocked and frightened in his heart, the cold voice came from behind him. You are the strongest among the 3 people, right? You have to let me have more fun. Jengo's body instantly tensed up. At some point, Uzumaki Sukuna appeared behind him. Ah! He didn't have time to think about it, suppressed the fear in his heart, tightly grasped the kunao in his hand, turned around and stabbed behind him with a shout. On the other hand, Uzumaki Sukuna behind him just chuckled disdainfully. He put his hands in his pockets and stepped on the ground with his right foot. His body retreated immediately, just dodging the stabbing kunao. Swish! Jengo saw that his attack was unsuccessful, and immediately withdrew decisively, pulling away from Uzumaki Sukuna. After he retreated to a certain distance, he first glanced at his 2 dead companions, then with red eyes, he roared at Uzumaki Sukuna. How dare you kill them? The ninjas of Konoha will not let you go. Uzumaki Sukuna heard this and still sneered. Why do you think you are still alive? Yes. The reason why Jengo is still alive is not because his strength is much stronger than the other 2. It's just that Uzumaki Sukuna borrowed Naruto's body for the first time and wanted to test the strength after using this body. Otherwise, at the moment he released the slash, Jengo would have been beheaded. Show all your strength and try your best to please me. In that case, I might consider giving you a quick death. Uzumaki Sukuna raised his hand and brushed his hair, saying arrogantly. Chapter 15. Outside Konoha village, beside a stream in the forest. 2 headless bodies lay quietly on the ground. A large amount of blood continued to flow out from the wounds of the bodies. The blood dyed the ground red and flowed into the stream, dyeing the originally clear stream water turbid and red. The air was filled with a faint smell of blood. In this depressing atmosphere, Jengo, the captain of the first team of the Konoha patrol team, had to face the monster like Uzumaki Sukuna. He heard Uzumaki Sukuna's teasing words, and a few drops of cold sweat slowly flowed down his forehead. He thought secretly in his heart. What kind of ninjutsu did he use just now? What a terrible attack method! He recalled the scene of Uzumaki Sukuna killing 2 companions in an instant, and he still felt a little scared. He felt it too. The reason why he was still alive was that the other party deliberately wanted to keep him, just teasing him like a cat playing with a mouse. The strength of both sides is not at the same level at all. The opponent is obviously just a child from a ninja school, but he feels deep fear in him. If this continues, I will definitely be played to death by him. We must find a way to tell this news to Lord Hokage. The terrifying slashing ninjutsu that has never been seen before, the evil breath that makes people feel cold from the bottom of their hearts. No matter how you look at it, it is not something that an ordinary ninja school child can have. When he thought of this, he immediately put his hands into the ninja tool bag tied to his combat uniform. Swish, swish, swish. The next moment, he suddenly pulled out his hands and swung them forward. More than a dozen shurikens, spinning at high speed, attacked Uzumaki Sukuna. At the same time, he quickly condensed chakra and put his hands together in front of him to make a seal. Clone Jutsu. Bang, bang. Two clones suddenly appeared with a burst of white smoke. After summoning the clone, Django turned around and ran without any hesitation. Three figures fled decisively in three different directions. Since they couldn't beat him, they had to send this information to the Third Hokage. Let's look at Uzumaki Sukuna. Uzumaki Sukuna looked at Django, who was running away so decisively, and said with disdain. Good decision. Unfortunately, do you think you can escape like this? Uzumaki Sukuna sneered. From the moment he borrowed Naruto's body to come out, he never thought of leaving anyone alive. What's more, the other party has seen his strength. Once the other party sends the information back, this body will be in trouble. Uzumaki Sukuna looked at the shuriken that was overwhelming, moved his right hand fingers, and said softly. Release. Hu-boom. In an instant, countless slashes were released and rushed out. Dang, dang, dang. Just a face-to-face, the shurikens that attacked him were cut into pieces by the crisscrossing slashes. Metal shurikens were like thin paper in front of the slashes. This is not over yet, the slash swept past, cutting all the shurikens into pieces. Continue to slash at the three figures of Django at an extremely fast speed. Bang, bang. The slashes caught up with two of the Djangos in a blink of an eye, and they were also not blocked, and easily cut through his body. The bodies of the two Djangos were cut into countless pieces on the spot, turning into a cloud of white smoke and disappearing. Obviously, these two Djangos were just the clones he summoned just now. Found you. Seeing this, Uzumaki Sukuna's smile became colder. It is indeed difficult to distinguish the clones of the clone technique with the naked eye, especially when the opponent is a chunin. But if you can't distinguish them, just chop them all. The remaining one is naturally the real body. On the other side. What a fast slash! Django's real body's face changed, and his voice was a little trembling. He originally thought that throwing all the ninja tools on his body, coupled with the confusion of the clone technique, would definitely buy him some time to escape. Unexpectedly, the opponent actually shattered all the shurikens in an instant. Moreover, that terrible slash directly shattered his clone and continued to attack his real body. Ho-ho! He was still running forward desperately, and there were already bursts of sharp wind in his ears. Turning his head, he saw that the dense slash was less than 1 meter away from him. Oh no! At this distance, I can't dodge. Django's face became extremely solemn. He knew that once his body was touched by that terrible slash, his fate would also it will be cut into pieces in an instant, just like the shuriken and the clone. Seeing that the slash was about to hit his body, he could only grit his teeth, consume a lot of chakra, and quickly seal his hands. Substitution technique. Bang! At the critical moment, Django used the substitution technique. His body suddenly turned into a piece of wood, allowing the slashes to cut through it. When his figure appeared again, he was already next to a big tree 1 meter away. Plop! Django looked at the substitute wood that was cut into countless pieces, and his feet sat down directly on the ground with his feet weak. He leaned against the tree and gasped for breath. Only he knew how thrilling the whole process just now was. Even if he reacted a little slower, he would have to die here today. Damn it! What kind of ninjutsu is this? I didn't see him make any hand seals, but the slash was released. Django gritted his teeth unwillingly, his heart full of doubts. Not long ago, he kicked the opponent away easily and almost killed him with a kunao. How come he has become a different person in the blink of an eye? The most important thing is that the powerful slash used by the opponent does not require hand seals. This made him, a chunin, unable to use any offensive ninjutsu in front of the opponent. I changed my mind. At this time, Uzumaki Sukuna's voice came from above. Gengo was instantly shocked and broke into a cold sweat, subconsciously looking up. In his sight, Uzumaki Sukuna's figure appeared on the big tree behind him at some point. Uzumaki Sukuna jumped down lightly and grabbed his face with his palm. At the same time, Uzumaki Sukuna also continued indifferently. You are too weak. Your performance is really a bit boring. The reason why he kept Gengo as the patrol team leader was to test him. How does the strength of Ryomen Sukuna, who has unlocked 25% of the template fusion, compare with the chunin of Konoha village? But after a fight, he found that even with only 25% fusion, ordinary chunin is too weak for him. Even with the speed of the chunin seal, his slash has 100 ways to kill the opponent instantly. There is no need to test this gap in combat power. Indeed, it is a bit boring. Ugh. Gengo was covered by the palm of Uzumaki Sukuna's hand, and he struggled desperately to say something. But at this moment, he saw Uzumaki Sukuna's palm condensed and lit up a red and black light. A strong breath of death suddenly enveloped his heart. 8. Puff. The next moment, Uzumaki Sukuna said softly. In his palm, the red and black cursed power instantly formed a net-like slash composed of countless small slashes. With a puff, the net-like slash was like cutting tofu, easily splitting Gengo's entire head into countless cubes. Chapter 16. Uzumaki Sukuna looked at the bloody mess in front of him with an indifferent expression. He raised his palm and carefully felt the strength after borrowing the body again. This time, it's not completely without gain. Although the opponent is a bit rubbish, at least I have adapted to using the cursed power in this body. Uzumaki Sukuna smiled slightly and said to himself. Before he borrowed Naruto's body did not have any cursed power. Cursed power and chakra are originally powers from two different worlds. It is precisely because he traveled to the ninja world that Uzumaki Naruto can also have cursed power. Of course, the source of this cursed power is all generated by him, not Naruto himself. I didn't expect that this body is quite compatible with my cursed power. At least there will be no phenomenon of cursed power rejection, and the curses can be used smoothly. Uzumaki Sukuna nodded secretly, and was quite satisfied with his body. After all, it was the first time to borrow Naruto's body. At the beginning, he was worried about whether there would be a rejection of the cursed power and the inability to extract the cursed power. The result was obvious, he was overthinking. Naruto's body was highly adaptable to his receiving body. This also allowed him to not only use the slashing technique smoothly, but also accumulate good experience in the process of using it. For example, one of the techniques is resolution. Although it is just an ordinary slash, the power is terrifying. In the process of using it just now, he became more proficient in the use of resolution. Using it in the spiritual world and using it with a physical body are completely different feelings. Even after he had a physical body, he became more meticulous in the release and control of resolution. There is also another technique, 8. The slashing technique 8 is adjusted according to the difference in the cursed power of both parties. Release a slash that is enough to kill with one blow in an instant, killing the opponent instantly. To put it simply, G is a continuous slashing attack. And 8 is a fatal blow based on the power of the curse. In the process of fighting just now, he first used G several times skillfully. Then on this basis, he roughly compared the opponent's chakra amount and the strength of the curse according to his perception. Finally, he used 8 to kill the opponent completely. After this attack, he also had a preliminary standard for measuring the strength of curse and chakra. This is a very valuable combat experience. Not only combat experience. There are other gains. Uzumaki Sukuna put down his hand and looked around. At this time, wisps of red and white energy were slowly drifting out from the bodies of Gengo and his 2 patrol companions. It was the negative energy generated by the 3 people before their death. Most of them came from the fear of Uzumaki Sukuna. Gurgle. Seeing this, Uzumaki Sukuna's smile became even wider. He opened his mouth and directly absorbed all the negative energy. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of fear of the Konoha village ninja, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of tension of the Konoha village ninja, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. Ding! The host absorbs the negative energy of Payne of the Konoha village ninja, and the template fusion degree increases by 1%. The system prompt sound keeps ringing. The negative energy harvested this time has increased the template fusion degree by 3% in total. The total template fusion degree has also reached 28%. After all, it was just killing 3 chunins, and they generated negative energy in the process. It's better than nothing. Ah! At this time, a panicked cry suddenly came from Uzumaki Sukuna's mind. How can you kill people? And kill Konoha's ninjas? Naruto in the spiritual world also reacted at this time. Because Sukuna had already run out and borrowed his body, his originally negative state was able to recover a little. As a result, he never expected that he would actually witness the scene of Uzumaki Sukuna brutally killing the ninjas of Konoha village. Although, he also hated those 3 people, who concluded that he had killed people without any evidence. They also threatened to catch him back and interrogate him thoroughly. But that didn't mean they would die. Even if they were angry, they could just beat them up. How could they just kill them all? Now he really became a murderer, didn't he? Upon hearing this, Uzumaki Sukuna said with some anger in his tone. Kid! Who do you think you are talking to? I'm helping you. Do you think you can prove your innocence if they catch you back? Uzumaki Sukuna snorted disdainfully. Humph! Stop dreaming. With their ill will towards you, even if you didn't kill anyone, they will accuse you of murder. Naruto. Uzumaki Sukuna's words immediately made Naruto speechless. He could naturally feel that the other party had strong ill will towards him for some reason.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना?